Your future spouse saw something terrifying in your family history. They are hiding their reaction. Archangel Michael says, a powerful silence fell the moment they opened the old document tied in red thread. What your future spouse found inside was never meant to be discovered by outsiders, but destiny doesn't wait for permission. Their breath caught, heart pounded, and from that moment onward, something inside them shifted. The blood in their veins went cold as they read the first name listed, a name they had overheard in whispers but never expected to see written in your lineage. It wasn't just a name, it was a secret too heavy to carry, too haunting to face. Yet they continued reading, unable to stop, each word stitching together a disturbing truth your family never told you. They didn't tell you what they found. Instead, they folded the paper carefully and placed it back, pretending like nothing happened. But their eyes, the way they looked at you since that day, gave away the storm inside. They are still smiling, still showing up, still saying the right words. But deep down, they are haunted by what they now know about you, your bloodline, and the chain that might link their future to your past. Type Amen to get blessing 333. They had planned to speak to you that night, to share the discovery and ask questions. But something held them back, the fear of breaking the beautiful illusion you both were building together. Instead of confrontation, they chose silence, a silence that now follows them like a shadow. You noticed the shift too. The way they pause when you mention certain relatives, the way they avoid questions about the future. There is love, yes, but it's become tangled in an invisible net of unspoken worries. Archangel Michael says, it wasn't a coincidence that they found that file. It was time. Time for the veil to be lifted, for what's hidden to come into light, even if through unexpected hands. They are seeing you differently now, not with hate, not with blame, but with the weight of knowing something they think you're not aware of. They are torn between protecting your heart and protecting themselves. Type Amen to get blessing 444. They saw a name connected to an old spiritual order, something buried in your great-grandfather's side. The order was known for practices that bordered on the occult, rituals that involved sacrifices for power, favor, and fortune. They saw photographs, symbols, and a journal entry written in trembling ink, describing a pact made in exchange for prosperity. They don't know if the curse still lingers or if it was broken generations ago. But fear doesn't wait for facts, it wraps itself around possibilities. And they are afraid that by marrying you, they are also marrying the consequences of a dark oath. Their dreams are no longer peaceful. Every few nights, they wake up gasping, drenched in sweat, after visions of shadows whispering in forgotten languages. They haven't told you about the dreams, about how they sometimes see your face morph into someone else's in those visions. They're trying to pray it away, to meditate, to light candles, but nothing seems to settle the unease. And now, when they hold your hand, there's a silent question behind their smile. Type Amen to get blessing 555. Archangel Michael says, you deserve to know that their silence is not betrayal, it's confusion. They are stuck in a battlefield between love and fear, commitment and escape. The moment they found that file, they started doubting what was real. They haven't left because their soul still recognizes yours. Despite everything they saw, they are drawn to your spirit. But the fight within them is growing louder each day, and it will not be quiet forever. Your ancestors thought they buried it well, those records, the photos, the strange locket wrapped in cloth. But nothing stays hidden forever. Heaven has a way of bringing truth to the surface, often through those we least expect. If you felt them pulling away, it's because of this. They're trying to process it without hurting you. But the more they hold it in, the heavier it becomes. Type Amen to get blessing 666. They've even spoken to someone about it, a spiritual reader who warned them not to judge what they don't understand. The reader said your family's past holds pain, yes, but also transformation, redemption, and resilience. They left that meeting more conflicted than ever. A part of them wanted to run. But another part, the part that fell deeply in love with you, is trying to stay rooted. They look at your face and wonder, how can someone so gentle carry such a legacy? They are watching you now more than ever, hoping for signs, clues that you know what they know. Every gesture, every story you share, they're listening more closely than you realize. And yet, they haven't told you. Not because they doubt you, but because they don't know what truth would do to the love you've both built. Type Amen to get blessing 777. Archangel Michael says, prepare your heart. A moment of revelation is approaching. It might come through a slip of the tongue, a confrontation, or a sudden decision on their part. You may feel blindsided, but remember, this is not punishment. This is alignment. Heaven is aligning truth with timing, pain with purpose. Your future spouse carries fear, but also potential. They are not just seeing your blood, they're seeing your soul. And your soul carries light far stronger than the darkness of old stories. They've started researching your ancestry. Quietly, without your knowledge, they've been piecing together timelines and names. They want to understand you more fully, and in doing so, understand what they're choosing. Type Amen to get blessing 888. They saw something about a woman, an ancestor accused of seducing a powerful man through forbidden practices. It was written in a brittle letter folded behind a photo, and they read it 3 times to believe it. They don't know if it was real or rumor, but the fear stuck. Fear that such energy may still be present, that the bond between you both might come with spiritual baggage. They began to ask themselves, am I ready to carry this with them? They love you, but they don't want to be consumed by what they don't understand. They've even considered ending it without explanation, walking away quietly. But something stops them every time. The memory of your laugh, the softness in your voice. Type Amen to get blessing 999. They once dreamed of your wedding day. But now, that vision is fogged by what they saw, and they are trying to clear it. You deserve to stand beside someone who is sure, someone who chooses you fully, not with one foot in the past and the other in fear. Archangel Michael says, do not be afraid of what they saw. Heaven already knew the day would come when truth would be unearthed. You are not responsible for what your ancestors did. You are only responsible for the choices you make now. They will come to you soon. Perhaps not with every detail, but with questions. Be ready to answer not with defense, but with heart. This could be the moment that breaks you, or the moment that binds you forever, deeper, stronger, brighter. Type Amen to get blessing 111. They are holding your love in one hand and the weight of that family discovery in the other. Their heart is caught in between, and every decision now feels like walking a tightrope over a field of hidden truths. They do not want to lose you, but they also don't want to lose themselves in fear. They reread the journal. It spoke of power gained through pain, of bargains struck beneath blood moons, of chants that echoed beyond time. And though the pages were decades old, the emotions they stirred felt fresh, alive, unsettling. They wonder if your kindness is your rebellion against that past. If your soul came into this world to break the chain and not continue it. They're hoping that their love for you can override what history carved. But the question that haunts them most is, what else don't you know about yourself? That silent terror is why they hesitate to move forward. Type Amen to get blessing 1212. They haven't told their family yet. They're afraid of how they would react if they knew your full ancestry. They fear judgment, rejection, perhaps even sabotage. One day, they sat by the river with that folder beside them, debating whether to burn it or bring it to you. In the end, they did neither. They just cried. Because they're not just facing your past, they're now holding a mirror to their own courage. They see visions now too. Faces they can't recognize. Languages that dance at the edge of their hearing. Dreams that start in color and end in whispers. They asked an old woman near the temple what these dreams meant. She looked into their eyes and said, "You are being asked to stand with a warrior born of an ancient fire." Type Amen to get blessing 1313. And they wondered, is that fire too strong? Will it burn us both? Or is it the fire that will keep us warm for generations? Archangel Michael says, the darkness that frightens them is not yours to carry. It's a residue of history, not the essence of your soul. Their reaction is human, but the answer lies in the divine space between fear and faith. They are learning now that love is more than romance. It's facing the shadows together, hand in hand. And while they may have started hiding their reaction, it's slowly breaking through the cracks of their quiet moments. They may not say it out loud, but you can feel it. Their hesitations, their guarded pauses, the sudden need to always ask, "Where did this come from?" or "Who taught you that?" Type Amen to get blessing 1414. They are trying to map your soul using the compass of logic, but your path was never linear. You come from a line that walked through fire and rain, and still bloomed with grace. You're not cursed, you're chosen. Archangel Michael says, they are meant to witness your unveiling. This is part of their awakening too. They didn't find the secret by accident. Heaven allowed it. Now, they must decide, run from what they don't understand or step forward in faith and learn the story from you directly. You must prepare for the moment they finally break their silence. Don't fear their questions. Fear only the silence that grows in their heart if they never ask them. Speak with love, and you'll melt the wall they've built around their fear. Type Amen to get blessing 1515. They've already begun noticing changes in themselves. They're more introspective, more spiritual, more aware of energies around them. Their body tenses around certain objects now, especially the old ring you wear that belonged to your grandmother. You once thought they were simply admiring it, but now, when they look at it, they remember reading about the woman who wore it first. A woman who once disappeared for 3 days and came back speaking of celestial visions and ancestral spirits. They wonder if that ring still holds a link to something ancient. If love alone can override spiritual bonds, or if they must honor and understand what came before. They thought they were ready for forever. But now they realize, forever also includes your roots, your ghosts, your light. Type Amen to get blessing 1616. They tried to forget. For a few days, they buried themselves in routine, in small talk, in laughter. But none of it felt real, not until they confront what they saw. One night, they almost told you. You were sitting close, your hand on theirs, and the words trembled at their lips. But then you smiled and said something about the future, and they froze, afraid to ruin the moment. Archangel Michael says, "You will not lose what is yours. But heaven will test the strength of your foundation before building the palace." This silence is the test. When the moment comes, let your response be gentle but strong. Let your truth be whole. You do not need to justify what you never chose, but you can still honor it and rise above it. Type Amen to get blessing 1717. They are starting to believe in divine signs. They see numbers repeating. They hear their name whispered during sleep. They feel as though they're being pulled into a story much older than them. They're realizing your love was never ordinary. It came wrapped in mystery and trials. But they're also realizing the reward on the other side is greater than any fear they carry. Soon, they will ask to see the house where you grew up. They will want to visit the land your ancestors walked. Not to investigate, but to feel, to connect, to see if their heart still chooses you even in the shadow of what was. This will be the turning point. Your energy in that space will tell them everything they need to know. Type Amen to get blessing 1818. They will see how you walk through your own story, whether with shame or with strength, whether you are running from it or rising because of it. And when they see the truth in your eyes, they will remember why they fell in love in the first place. Not because you were perfect, but because you were real, beautifully, powerfully real. Archangel Michael says, there is nothing more powerful than love unshaken by truth. This is your season to show them who you truly are. Not with defense, but with grace. Let them come to you with trembling hands and uncertain words. Let them see that what frightens them is already being healed through your light. Type Amen to get blessing 1919. They are waiting for a moment when it feels safe. But what they don't realize is that the safety lies not in avoiding the conversation, but in having it. You are ready, more than you know, to hold their fears and meet them with clarity. They will mention the folder. They will mention a name, a date, something vague at first to test the waters. Don't interrupt them. Let them spill it all. And when they do, just breathe. Because this is not about shame, it's about the unveiling of a story only you can finish. You are the living continuation of a legacy that needs healing. Type Amen to get blessing 2020. Archangel Michael says, you were born to transform your bloodline, not to run from it. Your love story is the beginning of that transformation. Don't let silence fracture what destiny has carefully prepared. If they tremble, guide them with your stillness. If they question, answer without fear. If they cry, let your strength hold them. This is a sacred dance between two souls unwrapping centuries of pain. It may feel heavy now, but in the end, it will birth a love that nothing on earth can copy. They'll need time to forgive history. But in time, they will see the difference between the past that haunts and the person who heals. You are not your great-grandfather. You are the hope he never had. Type Amen to get blessing 2121 in the coming days. Your future spouse may behave differently. They may pull closer or retreat entirely. But either way, it will all lead back to that one night, that one discovery, and how you respond to it. You will look them in the eye and tell them what you've always known deep down. You were never meant to repeat your family's history. You were sent here to end cycles. They may ask you how you stay so calm, so radiant, so rooted in love despite what they found. And you will tell them, because I've already made peace with it. Now it's your turn. And when they see you standing so firm in who you are, they will fall in love again. But this time, with your truth, not just your smile. Type Amen to get blessing 2222. They will finally understand why God sent them to you. Not just for romance, but for revelation. Not just to build a future, but to rewrite the narrative. Archangel Michael says, the strength they see in you now is only a glimpse of what's coming. Once the truth is no longer a secret, your love will reach a deeper frequency. What once was fear will become fuel. They will stop hiding their reaction. And in doing so, they will begin healing their own generational wounds. Your union will become a sacred agreement between two brave souls rising above bloodlines. And that folder, the one they hid so carefully, will eventually be burned together, symbolizing the end of hiding and the beginning of becoming. Type Amen to get blessing 2323. Your future spouse will learn to love not just you, but every piece of what shaped you. They'll come to see that the darkness in your family history is the very contrast that made your light so bright. They will thank God for the day they chose to stay, even in confusion. They'll thank heaven that fear didn't win. And they'll thank you, for being patient, for being strong, for being unapologetically whole. Together, you will break curses. Together, you will start a new branch of the family tree, one rooted in truth, transparency, and love. And years from now, when your children ask about their ancestors, you will tell them the truth. Not with shame, but with power. Type Amen to get blessing 2424. You will say, we come from survivors. From warriors. From those who once walked in darkness but created the light you now live in. That is your legacy. That is your power. And no hidden document can erase it. So when they finally sit down beside you, with tears in their eyes and words shaking from their lips, welcome them. Let them speak, let them cry, let them release. Then hold their hand, and say with peace, now you know everything. And I still choose love. Type Amen to get blessing 2525 and they will reply, not with fear, but with awe. Because in that moment, they'll realize they didn't just discover a hidden history. They discovered the depth of your soul. And it will be the beginning of something greater than either of you could have imagined. A love that transcends secrets, defies darkness, and honors truth. So breathe now. Be still. For what you feared would tear you apart, will actually tie you closer. This is not the end. This is the sacred middle. And what's coming next is worth every tear, every truth, every tremble. Type Amen to get blessing 2626. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Your soul has passed the test, and your love is now blessed.